I'm going to start letting people in. We'll get the party started. So, Ashley's here. Chris, Hallie, Timothy, Linda. Hey, Nelson's in the house today. John, Lewis, Catherine. Hey, Diana's here today. We've got some Industrial Marketing Summit people here, Jordan.
Nice.
So we've got, and welcome everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon? I guess it is. Hey, we just hit 12 o'clock, right? Eastern time. So Damon, it's like breakfast time for you, right? Well, it was like breakfast at 4 in the morning. Damon gets up super early. So, okay. All right, we're popping everybody in. And hey, there's Nelson. Hey, Nelson, what's up, dude?
How you doing?
Good morning, Kyle, David, Chris. Happy afternoon. Diana's here. Hey, Diana. Okay. Letting people roll in. So, hey, you know what? For our folks that come here promptly, why don't we go ahead and we could get started. So let's go here. Let's go here. I'm letting some more people in. And all right, hey, welcome. Happy Thursday. Anna's in the house. Hey, Anna, how are you? Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve to everybody. My name's Kurt Anderson. What an honor. What a privilege. What man, who put this esteemed panel together? I'm not sure who pulled that off, but we have a wonderful group of people here. I want to give, we're going to go around and do intros. I want to give a big shout out, big thanks to our sponsors. We had the National Tooling and Machining Association sponsored us. They are awesome. So if you're in the NTMA, good for you. If you're a small manufacturer, machine shop, we encourage you, welcome you to check out NTMA. We also had a bunch of the MEPs. If you're a manufacturer and you're not familiar with the MEP network, that's the Manufacturing Extension Partnerships. Boy, do we encourage you, welcome you, invite you to check out the MEPs. We've got them all sponsored on here. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to come back to you guys. Hey, let's do some intros to our panelists here. So I'm going to go by time zone. So, hey, I've got my dear friend Hallie Haupt. Hallie from IQ Manufacturing. Happy Thursday. How are you today?
I am great, Kurt. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. Now, you know what, Hallie? I don't know if you knew this, Hallie. I applied for a job at IQ Manufacturing. You know why I didn't get the job?
Why?
Because the name of the company, Damon, if it was called Lower IQ, I might have got the job, but they did not hire me. They are smart people, good judge of character. Hey, I've got Wesleyne Whittaker in the house down in Houston. Wesleyne, happy Thursday. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. And can I make a quick request? If you
Absolutely. I know where you're going.
I would love to see faces. It is so much easier to talk to faces than little boxes with names.
So, hey, you heard it from Wesleyne. She's the boss here. So, Damon, everybody's got to get their cameras on. Give a big wave, a big hello. So, Wesleyne, I love when you do that. So, thank you. Wesleyne, our recovering chemist, is here. So, and while we're here, as you're pouring in, take a second, grab your LinkedIn profile, drop it in the chat box. If we were all in person, we'd be high-fiving, handshaking, handing out business cards, exchanging link, or Wesleyne, you'd be barcoding, right? Little QR code people. So drop your LinkedIn in the chat. That's a great opportunity to build up your network here. Hey, speaking of building your network, I've got Jordan. Jordan, how are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. I've got my coffee protein shake, so I'm getting the energy to get this thing going. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, thank you, Jordan. You're coming to us live from Houston as well. So I appreciate you being here. We've got a ton to dive in. And somewhere we've got Damon in the house. Damon is out in Seattle, up bright and early. Damon Pistulka from Exit Your Way. How are you, dude?
I'm doing great today, Kurt. Ready for this.
All right, let's dive in. So again, welcome you, invite you, drop questions in the chat box. We would love to make this interactive. As a matter of fact, Wesleyne, you're great on questions. Let's kick off with a question. If you want to drop in the chat box, are you newer? Are you newish? Or are you a seasoned veteran? Where are you as far as your LinkedIn journey? If you want to drop in your LinkedIn chat, your LinkedIn profile, of course, but let us know like kind of where you're at, because we really want this to be so beneficial, so fruitful. We know how busy you are. We don't take it lightly that you guys joined us. Your time is precious. So thank you for being here. But we really want to address any of those questions. Drop them in the chat. Hallie, let's start with you, my friend. You work for IQ Manufacturing, just a marketing guru. Talk a little bit about how LinkedIn is really for manufacturing from your perspective, not a nice to have, must to have. Let's go there.
Yeah, so with LinkedIn, I started about 3.5 years ago, and I did not even realize how beneficial it could be for like your companies. This was brought to my attention the other day, so I definitely want to bring this up, but I don't think many like companies realize how you can use LinkedIn as like a selling point and not just like a social media platform. But if my husband ever watches this, I apologize in advance for like calling you out on this. But he works in IT, right? So information technology. He's in my corner engaging with my stuff on LinkedIn, and he told me the other day that he didn't realize that when he likes my posts, his connections get that pushed to the top of his feed. And I was like, hey, that's a thing. So I don't think manufacturers know that like you can get in front of OEMs without being connected to them. It's like if someone's not connected with Jordan, but I'm connecting with her, they're seeing it on their feeds. And actually, this is funny. Somebody that I went to high school with actually commented on Jordan's post the other day because I interacted with it. So it's like you can get in front of OEMs, you can get in front of big customers, and it's like I don't think manufacturing companies or owners really realize how you can utilize that to sell. Like cold calling works, getting in front of people works, but this is just another avenue. And if your competitor is doing that down the street and you are not, they're ahead of you.
Well, that is fantastic. Great feedback there. And again, if you're just, hey, my friend Elma's in the house. Elma, happy Thursday. So again, for folks that just popped in, drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat box. Great opportunity to connect with other people. Anna says, I've been on since 2009 and we're all learning together. Dale, LinkedIn is like, let's see, where did it go? Is like perpetual trade show with nothing but friends. Dale, I couldn't agree with you more. What a great line there. Wesleyne, just share a little bit as a recovering chemist, fierce manufacturer. You've traveled in sales guru. You've been all over the world working in manufacturing. Just share why LinkedIn is just so important. Share, you have a funny story, actually, how you got into it. Just share that real quick.
Yes, so I started LinkedIn when I was in the corporate realm and I was at a sales meeting, one of my very first ones. It's a brand new salesperson. And the president of the company, he said, does everybody have a LinkedIn profile? And I didn't raise my hand. And he was like, Wesleyne, why do you not have a LinkedIn profile? I was like, I don't know. What is that? I mean, I was in my 20s. I was like, what is this thing? LinkedIn is not actually a thing that is important to me as a 25-year-old. Like, who needs it? And so he made me get a profile. And the funniest part of that is the person who recruited me away from that company found me on LinkedIn because my profile was so fantastic, right? And so it can be used for you as a resume to build your career, but it's also, I like to say, it's your personal branding. So for me as a small business owner, I literally use my LinkedIn when I meet somebody out and I'm networking. I'm like, hey, connect with me on LinkedIn. They see my voice, they see all of the things that I'm doing. And yes, I'm a service provider. However, when you think about what you're doing as a manufacturer, you have to remember that people buy from people. And so you're a person. And so it's important for people to see the face behind the company.
Absolutely love it. So, hey, Jordan, let's get you on stage here. If let's see, if I'm going to ask a favor, if you guys could mute yourselves, who do we need to mute?
This team's so good that about them, it really matters to them.
Okay, there we go. So let's go here, Jordan. If you could do me a favor, just share a little bit about how your LinkedIn journey, how you started, and why personal branding has been so important for you. Especially you've had a big year with speaking, transitions. What's going on there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Personal branding. Yeah, I thought it was your company page, but
Oh, was there another question?
I think we're good. Go right ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I heard something. I would say, so I yesterday posted my like content creation implementation for beginners guide. And like, I actually like outlined the story of like, why I decided to make this. And it's kind of funny because I got into like a technical sales role, like very early in college. I was like 19, 20 years old and I was studying engineering at the time. And I had like no street cred, didn't know what I was doing, but I was supposed to be getting meetings with like facilities engineers at upstream oil and gas companies. And I'm like, I'm just a girl. How do I know anybody? Like, I'm not networked with these people. And so then I was like, oh, of course I'll just email them. And then I was like, wait, I don't have anybody's emails. And like, you call the place and they're like, no, like, who are you? Like, you can't come. And so I was like, okay, how do I get in front of these people? And that's when I discovered LinkedIn was a thing. And I just could like literally connect with somebody, talk to them there, set up appointments, get to know them. And then it just kind of took a life of its own. And then my first job out of college was sales and industrial automation. And I was like, I remember how I connected with customers before. And so I did it again. And then the sort of like content creation side of it came to life of, I don't want to just like reach out and talk to people. I want to have them come to me. And so I was like, how do I do that? Well, I need to show them what I do. And so that's when like the videos and all that came out of it. And then I eventually like started my own business from it on the side where like people are like, help us create videos. But then I've also kept a day job as well until February when there was a huge round of layoffs. Lost my job there, but it was actually kind of fun because when I told my network, hey guys, lost my job, like the amount of like overwhelming support and opportunities I got literally immediately same day was insane just because people already knew me, they knew my capabilities. And so everyone's like, oh my God, are you okay? You got laid off. I'm like, it feels like my birthday. Like everybody is just reaching out to me, being so nice. Like it's crazy. It's like you get so many added benefits that you don't think about going into it, but it's really kind of magical. Like when you really put yourself out there and are honest and work to build it. So I don't know if that answered the question well, but
Yeah. Oh, it definitely did. And so if you don't know Jordan, get to know Jordan. She's just all of our panelists here are just absolutely amazing. Jordan, I had the honor and privilege of catching Jordan on a panel at the Industrial Marketing Summit. Jordan, you just crushed it. And then you came on our live show. We do a LinkedIn live show. Many of you know that. And, and as you said, you were just, caught in a downsize, unfortunately, but you twisted that into an opportunity thanks to this vast LinkedIn network. And it was almost seamless. So I really credit you. You're just full of, how about a round of applause for Jordan being such an inspiration and just so courageous. Here a young person dives into LinkedIn right out of college, takes advantage of it. And then when an unfortunate circumstance happens, just, goes full throttle. You've built a nice business. You're doing all sorts of things, speaking gigs. Damon, my friend, let's get you on the stage here. Damon Pistulka, just share a little bit your perspective, why LinkedIn is so important. Dude, you're crushing it on LinkedIn. What's going on there? Where is he? Are you on mute?
No, I'm not. I'm just fooling with you. There's always got to be somebody, so I thought I'd break the ice. Well, it's funny because I listen to the other people talk about this, and I think back to myself. In 2009, when I left corporate America, I was horrible networker, right? And run companies. I knew suppliers, knew customers. That's what I knew. Didn't ever think of going outside of it. And I realized as I started to move into consulting and helping companies the way I do now, I had to get myself going. And I had a LinkedIn profile, but it was like most people back at that time. It was just a resume. And what I learned over the next years and over the time since then is really, as Jordan has talked about, and Hallie and Wesleyne, is that LinkedIn is a place, if you use it the way you can get to know people. You can get to know your soulmate customers in a no pressure atmosphere. By all the things, like Hallie said something at the beginning, I think that's really important for people that haven't been on LinkedIn, because you don't have to be out there generating content to do this. Engaging with the people that you want to get to know, just engaging, liking on their stuff, drop a comment once in a while, just do that kind of stuff. It'll start those things off. And then as you move into it, Wesleyne talked about the human to human connection. If you decide to make some content, it doesn't have to be some spectacular thing. I mean, I see a lot of people, I pulled up a lot of LinkedIn profiles that are on here. A lot of you are machining people, right? Man, there's nothing cooler than going out and just taking a picture of, something running, like a 5-10 second video of you just, making a machine vibrate because it's cutting so much chips or something, whatever it is in your company, and show people. People will want to see that kind of stuff. And then just explain daily life things. It's just to get to know these people. But what I've learned over the years is that it's about engaging with people and really just connecting on that H to H level that Wesleyne talks about, the human to human, and just getting to know people. And then when it's time, people will reach out to you and you can start to do business. It's a no pressure thing. It's a long game, but it's a no pressure thing.
It's a long game. So, all right. So let's dive in. So what we're going to do again, if you're just popping in here, hey, Greg Mishu is here, Mr. No Like and Trust. And so, he's notorious for just sharing how to build those trusting relationships here on LinkedIn. So again, drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat. Speaking of LinkedIn profile, we're going to do let's go a little gloss over, if you will. And we're going to check out some different profiles. So, hey, how about if we start with my friend Haley? Haley, let's just talk about, so for our manufacturing friends out there, hey, John Baglino's in the house. I see John there. Happy
Yeah.
Thursday, brother. So, Haley, just give a little quick overview for our friends that are new to LinkedIn, especially our manufacturing friends. What are some tips, advice, suggestions that you would have to share on their profile?
Yeah, so I think my biggest piece of advice is creating a profile that's attractive. And by attractive, I mean just having like information on there for people to find. Because I can't tell you how many profiles I'll go to where there's like no profile photo, there's no links, there's no contact information. And I immediately turn away from the profile because I'm like, they either don't want to be found or they don't know how to use it, but it's not something I want to like scroll down and find more information about. So having the links there that people can find your information, your website, having a clear and concise bio is something that's super important. And then being able to have like those images that draw people in. And I think what Wesleyne was going to talk about that as well, but that stuff is very critical when you want someone to find you and find information about you.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. And what I love here, you have, women in manufacturing member. You're very clear and concise. I love the information you have on here. You're super active. So, you've developed instant street cred for yourself with your profile, all sorts of engagement, pictures, photos, that type of thing. So this is great, Wesleyne. Man, you are like the queen of breaking down the LinkedIn profile. Let's just talk about like how you consult with manufacturers on how to build a better presence here.
So when somebody comes to your LinkedIn profile and we're talking about personal profiles, and I know a lot of people here are like, but I want my company profile to be fantastic too. There is a two-step thing that you need to do. Remember, people buy from people. What building your company profile is important, but if you are in marketing or in sales, you shouldn't be shy of using your own personal profile for branding. Why? Because LinkedIn has really great search engine optimization. So when somebody types in my name into Google, the first thing that pops up is my LinkedIn. And so you see my LinkedIn and you also see my company name. So if somebody's met me at a networking event, they may not remember my company name, but they'll remember my name, right? And so once they click on my link, then you see my profile, you see all of my posts. And so right at the top of your LinkedIn profile, you have your banner. That should be your calling card. What do you do? Who do you serve? How do people really know who you are and what you do? A few weeks ago, I helped a friend work on their LinkedIn profile. And within 2 hours, they were like, wow, this was so great. And it was literally from listening what they do, who they serve, and how they help them. And then you want to make sure that it's very clear, because if somebody comes on my profile and they don't have a field sales team, they're going to be like, she can't help me. Okay, that's great, because I don't like tech people. They're not my people. I like manufacturing. I like petrochemical. Those are my people. So I want it to be clear what I do, who I serve, and how I help them. And it should be very clear for you too. Do you help a specific industry in a specific part of the country? That's what you want to make sure that you have on your profile.
Yeah, I love that. And you look at Wesleyne's headline right here. I empower leaders and field sales teams to hit sales targets monthly. If you're looking for HR, you're not in the right place. Operational excellence, but boy, if you need a sales guru, the recovering chemist, coach extraordinaire, Wesleyne is your person. And then you take a look at what she's done in her about section. So again, please connect with Wesleyne. She puts out incredible posts, inspiring messages on a daily basis. This is really a great profile to benchmark here. Jordan, let's get you on stage. I have a couple of things I'd love for you to break down a little bit of your profile, and I'd really like to get into the featured section that you've taken advantage of. But what do you want to share as far as like banner, headline from a manufacturing standpoint? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've always struggled a little bit here because like I said, have a full-time job and then I have a side business. And so trying to signal that like I do more than one thing has always been like a challenge for me. And so what I usually try to do is like the background photo at the top, I have it signal the industry I'm currently in. And so right now my day job is I work with offshore oil and gas companies, and we do like, you know, software there. So a lot of the people I'm connecting with are subsea engineers, blowout preventer engineers, things like that. So I always want the image to signal the company that I work for, like my day job. And then luckily marketing engineers like a double entendre for me. It describes like I am an engineer, I do the marketing. And then the line below, creating fun and relatable technical content, like that is true for my day job. It's true for my side business. And it's vague enough to like spark some interest. It's like not as, you know, precise as Wesleyne, because she's so like on it and she has her like thing that she does, which girl, I wish I had the like ability to zero in like that. But for my situation, it's like I keep that level of vagueness to where they want to follow me, they want to like ask more, but it's still like signals that we have possibly something in common there. And then I try to like, you know, showcase everything in my featured of like have something related to my job, but also something related to like my personal branding side of things. So I try to keep a good mix, but honestly, I think that people get to know me best by following me for a while, but to initially capture them, like I said, I like the imagery and then the words to just make sense together. And then to Hallie's point, fill out your profile, have a picture. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you don't have a profile picture, start there. Don't overthink making it perfect. Just start by filling it out. Have something, you know, or else it's that's bare minimum. Have a profile
That's
picture.
right. Now, unless one of our friends out there are in the witness protection program, and Jordan, there might be a couple. I won't mention any names, John Baglino, but you know, there might be somebody in the witness protection program. Just kidding. So what I absolutely love, and I'm not taking advantage of this, but take a look at this, guys, what she's done. She has the services all filled out. I mean, just look at the credibility that, you know, if you want to know something about Jordan, I mean, she's putting all this information out here, all these featured posts. Here she is on site. Here she is, you know, the engineering guru is just really rocking it here. We're going to, what we'll do, you know what, Jordan, they've got to wait. They got to stick around with us till the end because we're going to show the guide later. So we're going to keep them holding on that. Damon, let's go here. You know, and Wesleyne, you made a great point. If, you know, if we don't think people are Googling us, like we're just, and you want to do business with them, Damon, it's the first thing that somebody's going to do, right? Is they're going to Google this person, right? Let's just share a little bit, your thoughts, your feedback on your profile. Dude, 80,000 plus followers. My goodness. Just share a little bit on your takeaway here.
Well, the first of all, I'm writing a lot of notes from everybody else I was talking, because if you create a good headline, have the good image, you know, and like Jordan, it's awesome having your services thing set up. It's incredible. I have to do that on mine. But you know, the things that when you do a Google search, LinkedIn has way more domain authority and power than you ever will with your company. And when you do that and learn how that works, your LinkedIn profile, just think a customer, potential customer is going to search for you. They're going to search for you. And they're going to search for your company, and you will find all these things about you and your company. And if you haven't done this, you need to do this to see what comes up, right? Because there's good and bad that'll come up, but the LinkedIn, the other social profiles will be some of the first ones that come up. And if you got a good, because okay, nobody goes down beyond the first section in Google when they do it. You know, you got the first three, I forget, it's like 90% of people click on the first few search results. So if one of those is LinkedIn, maybe you're lucky one of them is your website. They all need to be optimized so when people come to them, they actually can learn something about you. Because if they hit your LinkedIn profile that you set up in 2010 and have them put a profile picture or the headline, it just isn't going to do you any good. And that's really what I've learned over are this. The second thing is too, you know, although my picture is more professional, you can be a human on LinkedIn, right? You don't have to be stuffed shirt, suit and tie. If that's not you, I think Hallie, you do that awesome.
Be the hat girl, right?
Yeah, it's just awesome. It's awesome. You can be yourself. And really do that, and the right people you'll attract the right people.
Right.
I've
Damon,
just been at it a while.
Do me a favor. Yeah. And again, so, we're showing Damon now that Damon, that's many, many years of intentional building on your profile. Again, Jordan and Hallie, you guys came into relatively quickly. You built very vast followings quickly.
Yeah.
So just back to Jordan, on her featured section, Damon, you've had a lot of success here. This is a tip that you picked up. And I'll tell you, dude, what I admire about you, you have this vast following, and here your pencil in hand, you're taking notes, learning just how to, right, Wesleyne? He's always hungry how to learn more. I can't tell you, it's one of the greatest traits about you. But just share like how these checklists, and again, I don't care if you're a machine shop, I don't care what you're doing, that everybody wants to know that checklist. The tagline that we love to use is, how do you out teach the competition? Be that fierce educator. Damon, just share like how these checklists work for you.
Well, yeah, these are just guides that you create. You can create them on something about how to design a CNC made part, or how you make something a fabricated metal. But I used to have this section set up with YouTube videos that we had done on certain subjects and never got, a view one really. But with this section set up like this, people come to my profile, they see my image, and I need to work on my image, but I've even got the little QR code. People can do that, takes them right to the resource center on our website. But these things, I'll tell you, they get almost a download a day off of these 3 guides that are shown in there. And that turns into people that can be into your nurturing campaign. You can reach out and make sure they got their questions answered, all the kind of things you can do. And again, nothing about selling. It's just about creating a relationship and making sure people get the information they need. And, I'm in a business where I talk to people for years before they ever would have to do any business with it, would ever choose to do business with us. And I love it because all I do is provide information all day long.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Anna asked a great question. Awesome feedback, Damon. Again, we encourage, drop those questions. Anna asks, do you have influence over the meta description that shows your LinkedIn profile? John says, yes, it comes from your about. So let's take a look here, right? So if we look at Wesleyne, contact Wesleyne, here's her LinkedIn, here's where it's pulling right here. And then I think Wesleyne, I saw it again down here, it's pulling her headline right there, okay? If we take a look at Damon's, so we pull Damon Pistulka, looks like it's grabbing one of your testimonials. Hey, that's another great way, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's another one of our websites. It's pulling the other stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Hallie, I'm going to come back to you. So anything else that you want to add as far as profile before we dive into engagement? Any other thoughts as everybody went around that you want to share as far as any tips here for our friends that might be newish to LinkedIn?
Yeah, I guess I'll piggyback off the featured section. Obviously everyone here who's been talking about it uses their featured section for something different, and it's great because it's working for all of us. For mine, I know like when I first started in the industry, someone gave me the nickname Hat Girl. So I was promoting other people's companies with those hats. So it's not only a way for me to promote my company, but it's a way to promote those who have helped me get through and grow as well. Also, I don't know about you guys who are the panelists on here, but do people go back and like, I got a comment from a post a year ago that's in my featured section.
Yeah.
So it's like they're still interacting with it and still finding that information relevant. So I definitely agree with that about like the featured section. It's very useful.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Let's dive. So guys, and again, keep those questions coming. If you have any questions, we'd love to answer those. Hallie, while we're here, share a little bit just for everybody to get an understanding, like who is IQ Manufacturing? How do you guys make the world a better place? And then we're going to dive in how you're specifically using LinkedIn to help spread that word.
Yeah, so IQ Manufacturing, we are a job shop headquartered in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So we machine components for the aerospace, automotive, defense, and automation industries. We started in 2015 in the corner of a pole barn, 600 square feet, one machine, one machinist. And then 9 years later, we're in a 30,000 square foot facility with 25 people, 2 shifts, 18 machines. And it's just grown a lot. Yes. Kudos to the owners.
Hey, let's give a round of applause for the inspiring team at IQ Manufacturing. Way to go.
Really?
Yes.
And Hallie, you're doing an amazing job. Our little shameless tagline is how to stop being the best kept secret. You're doing an amazing job helping IQ to not be a best kept secret. Just share a little bit your journey, how you came in. And what I love, a point that whenever you and I do something together, what I admire most is how your company leadership has just embraced the culture. They let you run with it. Just share a little bit of that if you would, please.
Yeah, so when I first started at IQ, it was in April of 2021, and I was brought on to be an administrative assistant. I was supposed to help with payroll, I was supposed to help with documentation, and I still to this day haven't touched a single thing that has anything to do with any of that. I was here for 3 months before they kind of saw some more skills in me and they moved me to some of the marketing, and now I'm doing purchasing. So my favorite thing that I love about the ownership here is that they do really invest in us. And when they see a skill or a talent, they want to push us to keep pursuing that and keep pushing forward. So with the marketing, they really do give me the creative freedom to do what I do on there. And I think that a lot of companies need to do that as well. Obviously, find someone that you trust to be able to give out the correct information and who will represent you in a good way. But I really do think that my company like one-upped themselves by being able to give me that platform.
Excellent. Took it to the next level. So let's tip our toe. Let's start talking about a little bit of engagement. Okay. You have just wonderful, I tell you, your engagement is just off the charts. Just share a little bit of, your ideas, your concepts, what works, what resonates. We've done programs together where you showed like, hey, this was me in the early stages, not a lot of activity. And, we
Yeah.
watch you, grow, mature, season, whatever, however you want to describe it. But just share a little bit of your journey and how you're posting.
Yeah, so I've been posting consistently almost every single day for 3 years. So I think consistency is a big thing. People get to know you, they want to come back and read the stories. And like Jordan, I do things a little bit more on the personal side as well. I've said this on a recent jam session with you, Kurt. It's people want to know your person. You have hobbies, you have things you like doing, and it's not just all business. And I think that that's important to showcase. And I get a lot of engagement from that. And being able to engage back with people is very important as well, because it's not only boosting that post, but you're also gaining relationships and creating that bond with other people. So I think that's very important. I think every panelist here does that very well.
Yeah, and we're going to come back around, but before I leave you, Haley, I have to, man, for Hat Girl, my hat is off to you. 6,000 followers for a 25-person manufacturer. Like that's insane. You think like a marketing agency would have that. What's your key, any tips, suggestions for our manufacturing friends out there of like, man, I'm just trying to get to a couple hundred. Any
Yeah.
thoughts there as far as building the company profile?
I think the biggest thing is like know your audience, like the people that are looking at that content, because the people that are looking at my personal stuff aren't necessarily the same people who are coming to the company page. And so like I'm not as personal or I'm not as laid back on the company page as we are on like the personal pages. So really diving into what people like seeing on a company page is very vital. And I think I'm not sure who did mention the like small videos, like people love that. Those are our best. Like those are the best posts we get engagement on. Like these small videos, like this one right here, people love seeing that. And I think that's a good tactic that we've used to get more engagement on our posts. They want to see the people working, they want to see the people engaging. It's just something that's worked for us.
Yeah, you're personalizing the business, and Damon, like you always love to say, it's not B2B, it's not B2C, it's H to H, it's human to human. Wesleyne, let's get you up here. You post, man, I'll tell you, you are fierce and you are posting on a regular basis. Here's your featured, absolutely love this. Talk a little bit about your mindset, how you're sharing your messaging. Let's go there.
So for me, what I always want to think about, I do things intentionally. And so just this week, I had a post about how much I hated going to trade shows when I was a salesperson. And I hated going to trade shows because I would just sit behind the booth and people would come up and it was just a complete waste of my time. So what I did was I actually used LinkedIn as a part of my strategy when preparing to go to trade shows. I would either ask, can we buy the list? I would I would follow that page for that person, for the organization that was having the trade show. And I would start connecting with those people and setting up meetings intentionally before I even got there, right? So really thinking about what is my goal? What is my intention? So for this quarter, for this month, for this, whatever, you may say, what I really want to do right now is I really want people to understand what we do as an organization. So think about what do we do and how do we do it? Literally, you just sit down and talk about what you do every day to start up the plant, right? Maybe you, your operations manager, and ask them, so what are the things that you do to make sure that we're safe, that everybody goes home on time intact, right? People want to know the story behind the company. And so literally that's what I do. And lately, anyone who's just starting to dabble into LinkedIn, people have been complaining about the logarithm. Oh my goodness, all my posts aren't getting as much likes, they're not getting as many comments. And what I would say to you is I had a meeting just yesterday with someone who I connected with in 2021. We had 0 messages together. She has probably commented or liked my post once or twice a year. And she said, I've been following you for the past 3 years, and now is the time that I'm ready to do something. So people are consuming your content. They are reading what you're writing, but they may not be in the place to pull the trigger right now. They may not actually need your product at this moment, but the goal is to be consistent in what you're writing. Share the story behind the brand. Share what your employees are doing, why they like working for you, why your customers enjoy working with you. And that's how you set yourself apart from your competitors.
Yeah. You know, Wesleyne, I know you have one more unfair advantage. How about this $1 million smile right here? My goodness gracious. Man, I was at the dentist this morning. I was like, could I have that smile right there? So Wesleyne, you're just such a breath of fresh air. Great tips, great advice, strongly encourage, welcome, encourage everybody. Please connect with all of our panelists. Follow their posts on a daily basis. Just tons of inspiration, wonderful content. Mike, good afternoon, happy Thursday, says, what's the optimal length of a video posting for on LinkedIn? Who wants to grab that one? Wesleyne, go ahead.
Just do it. It doesn't matter if it's 10 seconds or 3 minutes. Just do it.
The algorithm's always changing, so stop trying to like please the algorithm and just put out content that feels good, in my opinion.
That's right.
Agreed.
Well, all right, Jordan, you teed that up perfectly, my friend. Let's dive into I tell you, just walk us through, like, maybe if you even want to go through like the gradual process when you first started posting to now, like what's your intention and strategy today?
So I'm not like the most creative person. Like naturally, I'm an engineer, like I'm very like analytical. And so my thought was like, how will somebody know what I do? And I was like, how will they know my products are related to me? And I was like, I should just post a selfie with my product because it's my product and it's next to my face. And so therefore the association is there. And to me, that was pretty plain and simple. And then I was like, also, okay, there's also not a lot of women that do my job, because like, you know, the manufacturing industry, there's still like a lot of men that do the engineering and stuff like that. And so I hadn't seen a whole lot of other women out there to where when you see a woman with like a VFD, it's like, oh, that's different. And over the last 3 years, honestly, like between these ladies here, the automation ladies, and like so many other manufacturing influencers, it's become so much more normalized. But at the time it was a like big pattern interrupt, like it was weird. And people are also like, why is she calling a VFD cute? Like that is so like alarming. They're not cute. And I'm like, it's like a 3/4 horsepower VFD. Of course it's cute. And so like, I don't know. I just started like associate myself with it. And that was kind of how I got started. And then when I would see, oh, people like this, or I would just get an idea, I would just do it. And I'm like, well, I could type this long caption about how cool this product is, or I could just record myself saying, hey guys, this product's so cool. Like, I love this product because XYZ. And a lot of it stemmed from laziness of just like, this is the fastest way to tell everybody about my stuff. And then eventually I was like, no, how can I do better? And then it became less lazy and stuff like this, where I actually like edit, add captions. But I really just kind of like followed what I felt like I would be doing if I knew someone in person, what I'd want to show them. And I just kind of put it out there and then hope for the best and then take feedback and just keep following the feeling, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's not like the most strategic advice, but it's what I did.
You know what? My favorite word, Jordan, lazy. I absolutely love that. Damon, we use that word at Wesleyne. We use that all the time. And just, we kid around, lazy, just how do you be as efficient with your time as possible? You know, and we can talk vanity metrics, but this is, you know, putting your, you know, talk about stop being the best kept secret. You know, 100 and, you know, over 100 likes here. You have over 100 here with your sister. You had 300 back up here. So again, it's just putting yourself out there, because you're casting a wide net, and you just never know who that's going to resonate with. Let's talk about this for a minute. You know, I had the honor and privilege, met you in person. We had a great And I'll tell you, as great as she is in online, she's wonderful in person. We had a great conversation. You spoke at the Industrial Marketing Summit. How has your LinkedIn journey helped you with public speaking or just kind of being a face of a young woman in manufacturing, which is so exciting? What are your thoughts there?
Um, Public speaking. I feel like I used to be incredibly anxious like growing up, and anytime we get in front of a crowd, like I would just be like drenched in sweat and red and just like talking so fast and blacking out. And then back in 2022, I decided to become a cycle instructor randomly because I was living in a small town and I was trying to make girlfriends and I didn't know how to meet people in my adult life. So I became a cycle bar instructor. And there's something about having to like yell at people and like encourage them on a bike for 45 minutes while pedaling of just like it really gets the muscle of like public speaking down, especially when it's like you look disgusting, it's kind of embarrassing, like you get out of your head and just become like one with the crowd, and then you're watching them and you're like, hey, I see you back there, like I see that you're struggling, like you got this, girl, like keep it up, or hey, like check that form, and so it's like you get used to kind of engaging with a crowd and just being authentic. And I felt like after that, like my public speaking just really clicked. Like I felt very comfortable. I felt like, okay, well, this is a lot easier talking and showing a presentation than riding a bike while talking. So it just was like a relativity thing, I guess. And then just realizing that if I mess up, it's okay. And like the world's not going to end. And like the anxiety portion of it just chilled out. And it also helps when you talk about things you know about. Because I've been lucky that all the panels I'm on, it's stuff I'm an expert on. And so I just am honest. I talk from experience and I don't try to show up as someone I'm not. And so it's just talk from what you know, then it'll feel, I guess, like relatable. So.
Relatable and natural. So, all right, perfect. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. Again, connect with Jordan on LinkedIn. Nelson dropped a note. I'd like to share a couple of really valuable tools. Nelson was in our LinkedIn live show a few weeks ago, Damon, and it was just what a powerful conversation that was. Connect with Nelson here on LinkedIn. He's got all sorts of great stuff for manufacturers. Damon, you post on a daily basis, dude. You are fierce. Just share a little bit of your approach, how you share your content and what it's done for you and your business.
Yeah, I have virtually no creative skills. I'll just start there. I am an engineer by training, so Jordan, you've exceeded far beyond my expectations of myself. I have to post goofy videos like this, and people used to say, hey, what? I used to think, why would you post goofy videos like this? And someone really showed me that, the personal videos are a lot better. These videos are scroll stoppers to get people to read what I'm talking about. And it's just a strategy that I use that my post format is pretty much the same. It comes from my reading life. I think about things in business and in client situations and everything. And then I just try to put something that's either relevant with the post or something that makes me laugh like crazy. And I don't know I'm a crazy Nitro Circus fan, so those people are nuts. But anyway, that's just me. That's just kind of how I do it. And you get into a rhythm. You get into the rhythm of I read, I write my notes in my phone as I'm reading. I do a lot of Audible and do that, and that gives me the ideas to post. And pretty soon the rhythm comes, and then you create. I think I look back now as like 2019, I started posting a few days a week. So this is a long-term process, right? This didn't just happen yesterday. So I started posting a few days a week, and then I started posting, I think, 5 days a week. And actually, a few of those were our live shows that we did. So that was taking up a few of them. That was pretty simple. And then it went into 7 days a week about a year and a half ago. And you create a content library. And for those of you that are on here, one of the things that is really beneficial is a content library, because you go back and I'll say, I really feel like talking about something about leadership. Well, I can go back and I've got 27 posts on leadership, and I'll go, this is kind of what I'm talking about. I need to edit it. I need to put it back in and reuse it, and it still has relevance. And that's what I do. And my approach has always been like the 80-20 rule. Might be right, might be wrong. 1 or 2 posts a week are going to be about what I do. The rest of them are going to be about life, leadership, and just stuff.
Right. and just built a vast network in the process. So, all right, let's go around again. 80 questions. Let us know. We're going to come in. We're rounding third base here, Hallie. So we're taking it home. Let's talk dollars and cents, right? It's great being on LinkedIn, social media. Again, if you have ownership, leadership, executives are like, hey, this is great that we're posting a lot of fun things, a lot of vanity metrics. Let's talk about converting this into livelihood, revenue, sales. Take us there. What have you seen for yourself at IQ? What has this done for your company? Let's go there.
Yeah, so I think the main thing is, like Damon has said, it's kind of a long game. So it's not like the snap of your fingers. It's not going to happen overnight. But with the visibility that we have now and the following that we've gained, it's turned into customers. The visibility has given the customers an avenue to contact us, many people in the company, and then all the information they need to reach us multiple different ways. And then the visibility also helped us with employees. We've grabbed employees from LinkedIn. We've got 3 guys on the floor right now that we found from LinkedIn or found us from LinkedIn. And then a lot of people who see like what we're doing will want to get in here. And I think that this isn't something that's talked about a lot, but we have machines on our floor where they've given us significant discounts for us to help market it and post it on our pages. Or we have vices in here and cutting tools in here that we are testing for other companies or making videos for them to post as well. And that's something that can benefit the company as well. So I think that's important to note as well, because I don't think that a lot of people think about that. People will be like, LinkedIn's turning into Facebook. And I'm like, okay, but like if you're using it in an advantageous way, it can be very beneficial to you.
Man, drop the mic right there, huh? How about that one? Bam. So one of my favorite words, did I hear collaboration? So this is an opportunity. So say, whatever, if you do CNC machining, maybe you want to partner with a wire harness assembly company or the PCB board company or something that's in a totally different space, 3D printer, whatever. So Hallie, what I'm hearing is this is putting you on the radar of a lot of other companies. You're a small company, 25 employees, and now people are reaching out to you to collaborate, discount, help promote, build relationships. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, yep. And we are both able to grab from that, because when they posted on their page, they're being directed to us. And when we posted on ours, we're directing our people to them. So it's cross collaboration and everyone's benefiting from it.
Yep. And then the other thing is, I just want to reinforce is so it's always like, oh, we need sales. Sometimes as manufacturers, man, we're at capacity. We couldn't take on another customer, but boy, do we need people on the floor. Did I hear you correctly? There, you have 2 people on the floor, thanks to LinkedIn. Did I hear that
3
right?
people. 3
3
people. Yep.
people. All right. Thank you for correcting me. 3 people. So again, if we need teammates, we need folks on the floor. What a great resource here. So whether you need someone on a professional level, on the floor, engineering, marketing, what have you, LinkedIn. So again, LinkedIn, it's not Hallie, is it a nice to have or is it a must to have?
You need to have it.
Right. And we have no skin in the game. Like we don't work for LinkedIn. Like we're just here just promoting, our company. Hey, we've got a couple questions here, Damon. I saw you answered someone, Linda Warner. Linda, thank you for joining us again. Thank you everybody for joining us here today. Linda says free account or premium LinkedIn, go. Damon says premium gives you featured section, better analytics. Damon, anybody else on the panel? You guys want to chime in on premium or free?
I like premium because if you're wanting to stalk other people's accounts and you don't want them to know if you have that.
Yes.
I don't know if that's relative to this conversation, but
Great answer.
It is.
Damon,
It's a good feature. Yeah, I didn't.
yeah,
think about
Damon,
that.
anything else that you want to add?
No, I just think if you're going to use LinkedIn, you may want to consider at least get things set up before you jump into premium. Make sure you got things set up. Look at the search features. I mean, when you go to search people on LinkedIn with the premium, you get all these different filters that you don't get in the free version. So it helps with those kind of things. But then the analytics too, like who's viewed your post, you can go down and see exactly who's viewed your post, where you can only see a few or whatever it is on the free version. There's just those kind of things that it's really going to help you if you want to use this for business development. That helps a lot.
Perfect. So Wesleyne, let's go here. You're a dollars and cents gal. You and I do one amazing work together. I'm just so blessed, so fortunate to have you in my life. We work with numerous manufacturers through the MEP network. Any of our MEP friends out there, give a little raise your hand or drop a note in the chat box. If you're a manufacturer, you're not familiar with the manufacturing extension partnerships, we strongly encourage you. We invite you. We welcome you. We implore you to check out your local MEP. There's an MEP in all 50 states. They are there to help you. They do wonderful services. Wesleyne, let's talk dollars and cents. What has LinkedIn done for you professionally and for your clients in manufacturing?
So what we have to remember and realize is that it takes 12 to 15 touches to convert someone. And so when we talk about converting, that is from somebody who was out there in the world to saying, okay, I'm going to submit a website inquiry form. Then it takes another 12 to 15 touches to get them to the next stage, right? So when we think about our sales cycle and our sales process, how do we use LinkedIn to make our touches more valuable? So instead of just calling or just showing up or just emailing, you can use LinkedIn to engage with your ideal clients. Show up for their post. They typically, a lot of your ideal clients, they're not having a lot of interaction on their posts. They may have one like, who is probably their wife or their husband or their kids. And if you show up and like and comment, and then they get an email from you the next day, they're like, wow, I remember that person. I'm going to respond because you know what? They showed up and supported me. So for me and my business, I get probably about 50 to 60% of my business inbound through LinkedIn. So that doesn't mean that somebody is commenting on a post and saying, I want to buy from you today, but it's somebody who's been following me. They sign up for my newsletter. Okay. That's a valuable conversion point for me. So from getting on my newsletter to then getting to the next step, there are other things I need to do. But what you have to think about is what is the entry point into your sales funnel? Whatever that entry point of your sales funnel is, your goal is to get people to get started. So how can you use LinkedIn to help you do that? And when I work directly in sales and when I work with clients, I have them build your hot list. Who is your hot list of target customers? Figure out how you can socially surround them. So that means engaging on their content. That means sharing a link when your company posts or you post. And that means connecting with them and having valuable engagements. And the last tip that I will share is once you've connected with someone on LinkedIn, on your phone, there's a little microphone and you can send them a voice memo. And so as soon as somebody joins my network, I send them a voice memo and I say, hey, thank you so much for joining my network. I'm curious about XYZ. And that sets you apart because they're hearing that you're a human and that you're talking to them and that you actually care about what they're doing. So
that is a brilliant tip. Another drop the mic right there. So how about that one? When you connect with somebody, and again, as Damon said, not necessarily being salesy, just a little voice message. We've got a couple questions here. And before I grab those, I want to make sure, Jordan, that we have time before people jump off for if they have a call at the top of the hour. You have a little content, not little. This is a powerhouse monster. My goodness gracious. Talk a little bit about this guide that you've created.
So I've spoke at a few conferences and obviously like grown my own network. And for my business of like content creation and marketing for like industrial companies, I have gotten all of my leads, and not even leads, customers come directly to me asking me to like help them out, to where like I've always had too much work to do where I have to turn people away because LinkedIn has been such a strong sales funnel. I don't even bother with my website because it's like I'm always getting so many leads from LinkedIn. And so when customers ask me, like, how do I do this? And salespeople are like, how do I do this? And it's like, I feel like, sure, it's great to go speak at a conference and tell people, this is how I did it. And I'm doing so great. And I'm like, that's not applicable. Like, I need to help somebody with like something applicable rather than just telling them, let me literally write it down and show you. So I brain dumped so hard. Like, I have to find the picture, but I like literally like the week after I got laid off, I wrote down every single thing I could think of. And I made like a little like mind map of it. And then I extrapolated on each of those topics. And then it took me a while and I organized it. And I was like, if somebody has never like done this and everyone's always like, you have to do LinkedIn, it's so important, it's overwhelming. Like, where do I start? Where do I begin? And so I wanted to put myself back in their shoes of like, maybe you're just building a profile, maybe you're just getting into content, but like, here's everything from like how to connect with your ideal audience, who you should be connecting with, the kind of content that you can post, and right there, a starter kit. You want to get started with content. Here's how you record it. Here's the type of content to record. Here's how you edit it. Here's how you implement it into your marketing plan. Here's how you do it for your personal page and your business page. And it was just like, I'm not going to say I'm like the smartest at this, but I was like, I feel like it'd be fair to just put everything I know into it and like the quirky ways I go about it, and then let people do with it what they want. So I thought that this would be helpful, and I hope that people find it helpful. And maybe it's a little elementary for some, but I think that there's so many people out there that just have no clue where to start. And I hope that this is the beginning for that.
Yeah, this is awesome. So again, please connect with Jordan Yates. She's dropped her
Download
LinkedIn
it
in the
now.
chat box. If you want to drop it again, Jordan, just to get it fresh in the chat box, connect with all of our panelists, please. You guys will, man, you're just gonna be a better person hanging out with these 4 people. But I love this comment, like, if you're new to LinkedIn, you're just like, gee, I'm not sure how to connect you, hey, I'd love to add you to my network. Looks like we have similar interests. So that's just a great line. Let's grab a couple questions here before we wind down. Anna, my dear friend Anna says, do you suggest using the boost feature or pay for campaigns to grow your page or your company page? My esteemed panelists, who would like to grab that? Jordan, did you raise your hand?
I've never really seen much benefit from using the boost thing. Like I've done it with a couple of my companies I run their pages for, and like you get a lot of impressions. And so maybe if you did it like for multiple posts over time, it would add up, but I've never seen an ROI on it personally. Not to say you can't, but I haven't. And so I think really just like what gets people is the like long-term consistency that Hallie said in the beginning, is like you just have to keep posting and people eventually like get in the right like place and they'll start to trust you. But I mean, it never hurts to experiment with everything. Maybe it works for your company better, but yeah, I haven't seen success with boosting post.
Any other comments?
LinkedIn campaigns are very, very expensive. And so you should really focus on the organic growth before you start investing, because, on Instagram or Facebook, you can get like 5, 10, 15 cents per click. On LinkedIn, it's like $5. So it's really, really expensive. And so that's not where I would suggest that you invest your marketing dollars. I would say pay for premium over investing in boosting post.
Yeah, I think it works better in B2C than it does B2B.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Okay, we've got Kyle, and I think Greg Mishu. Greg, you're still here. I know. I believe you do a fair amount with LinkedIn paid, so maybe connect with Greg Mishu. He might be a great person to address that question deeper. Anna, thank you for joining us. Linda, thank you. All your questions. Kyle says, any advice on how to narrow down to find your niche when you're able to offer a wide variety of services and skills? Kyle, we have a tagline, Wesleyne, Damon, that we love to use. We call it niche down till it hurts. But and Dale has a nice comment here. Maybe start with the customers you've been with the most successful and focus there first. Dale, how about, man, I'm giving you a little comment, drop the mic there. I love that answer. Our panelists, anything that you want to chime in as far as niching down? Wesleyne, anything you want to chime in as far as niching down? Wesleyne, before we go there, when we try to be everything to everybody, my friend, what happens?
We become nothing to no one.
Right.
And so when you're thinking about all the products and services that you have, it is very important when you're on LinkedIn or any social media platform to focus on, like I talked about, what is the entry point into your sales cycle, into your sales funnel? What is the thing you want to be known for? Figure out that product, figure out that persona, who that person is, and target them. Once you get somebody on the phone or once they submit a contact form, you can then sell them and talk about whatever you want to, but you have to be focused on something, or you're going to be so dilute and it's going to be hard for people to know when to come to you when they need products or services.
I love it. Focus on what we're absolutely best at and just, give it everything you've got. I mean, Damon, we talk about that all the time. Shamelessly, hey, and join us. We have a little LinkedIn live show on Mondays and Fridays called Manufacturing E-Commerce Success. Love to see you there, where we have wonderful folks like these lovely ladies here. And we just do deep dive discussions on all things wonderful about manufacturing, digital transformation, that type of thing. Nelson, my dear friend, says thoughts on using LinkedIn as your business card. Wesleyne, you gave a great answer. Do you want to just chime in there?
Oh, yeah. So, again, on your phone, in the search area of the LinkedIn app, there is a little button at the top. There's a QR code. And so if you can tap on that QR code and people can scan it from their phones when you're out networking or doing anything, and you can also scan that person's QR code. And so absolutely use it as your business card. Why? Because a business card is static. It's a piece of paper that people throw away. But LinkedIn, if you're posting, if you're connecting, it is a living thing where you're always updating who you are and what you're doing. So it's much better than a business card.
That's right. All right. So, man, I ran us right up to the top of the hour. But I know people are probably jumping off at their call coming up here. How about a huge thank you and a round of applause for our wonderful panelists? We've got Hallie, we've got Wesleyne, we've got Jordan, Damon, Pistulka. So, guys, thank you for sharing your time, your passion, your energy, your expertise with everybody, all about LinkedIn. Strongly encourage everyone, connect with our team here on LinkedIn. You're just, gosh, you can just thank us later. They're just wonderful, inspiring every day. How about as we wind down, first of all, I want to thank everybody here for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you. We're going to be sending the replay out for anybody that missed. Man, we had over 100 people signed up. I think I saw we had over 40 people here today. So that just makes we're just thrilled. I want to give a thanks to to our sponsors. Hallie, parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you would like to share with everybody as we close out on this wonderful Thursday.
I think the only thing I want to touch back on was something that I think Jordan mentioned was about like being yourself on your platform. I think one of the worst things is like if someone sees you being like bubbly and like open and whatever it may be on like a platform like social media and then meeting you in person and it's not that way. So I think it's very important to be yourself and be who you are in person so that when people meet you, they don't know any difference.
Great, man. Hallie, another drop the mic right there. Wesleyne, all right. When you follow Wesleyne, you're going to learn this new hashtag. It's called Wesleyne Wisdom. Wesleyne, any wisdom that you'd like to share as we close out today?
Just do something. You don't have to do everything we said, but just commit to doing one thing. Is it updating your profile? Is it posting once a week? Is it spending 30 minutes a day on the platform connecting with someone? Just commit to doing one thing and then take your next step and your next step. Because if you leave here with all of this information and it sits in your notebook and you never do anything with it, then the next time you come to a LinkedIn strategy workshop, you'll be like, oh man, I missed out on that. So commit to doing one thing today.
Awesome. Thank you. Connect with Wesleyne. She's an amazing human being, wonderful mom, dear friend. Wesleyne, appreciate you. Lots of love. Jordan, my friend, take us home. Words of wisdom, parting thoughts, how they connect with you, get that guide, anything that you want to share there. Are you on mute?
Sorry.
There you go.
Don't let overthinking lead to underdoing, my friends. Just put yourself out there. Don't get stuck in the analysis paralysis, as I know many of us technical people do, and then figure it out as you go. Don't be afraid to figure it out as you go and be honest about it. I mean, there's a million resources out there of how to get better at this, but you can't get better if you don't start. So give yourself a starting point and just look at it as data, take the data, learn from it, keep going, keep moving, but you're not going to get better if you don't try. So
Absolutely love it. Another drop the mic from our just and spoken like a true engineer. Absolutely love that. Follow the data, right? Not on our emotions. Follow the data. Damon, another engineer. Take us home, brother. Your words of wisdom, parting thoughts that you want to share.
I think listen to the three people that just said what they said. I mean, just be yourself. Just go out there. I mean, show life, show business, just have some fun with it. The right people will engage with you if you just put yourself out there and just share what you're thinking.
Absolutely love it. So, all right, I want to give another huge thank you. How about a round of applause one more time for our wonderful panelists, for everybody that joined us here today. I'm giving you a round of applause for just sharpening your pencil to get better on LinkedIn. We wish each of you just massive, incredible success. We'd love to see you on LinkedIn, connect with all of us. It would be an honor and privilege to have you in our network. Again, I'm going to be sending out the replay. I'll stick around. If there's any questions, please drop that in the chat. Anna says, I'm guilty of being an overthinker. Man, Anna, God bless you. Thank you for sharing. Guys, thank you for joining us today. We wish you just tons of success this week, and we will see everybody soon. One more question. Does anyone else find that people from across the world start targeting you to connect and saying they work for your company? Any comments on that one?
Block
Hey,
it.
Robert, happy Thursday to you, man. Thank you for the question. Any comments there?
You're allowed to ignore people.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, it's what people do to me. Just ignore. No, I'm just teasing. So I'm just kidding, Haley. So yeah, just tune those folks out. You're gonna get those. It comes with the territory. You're gonna get the little, hey, you're gonna get the SEO guru or somebody is trying to hit you up for something. So just kind of block those folks. But any other questions? We'll stick around for another minute. And anybody needs a wrap, get going on your day. Anything else? Anybody else going once, twice? If not, it's Father's Day coming up. How about happy Father's Day to the fathers out there? So and Haley, I think you had a birthday last week, right? It was your birthday the other day?
It was.
And she had all sorts of excitement for her birthday. So, all right, guys, we're going to close out. Thank you. Appreciate you. We'll see you at the next jam session. Wesleyne, Jordan, Haley, Damon, thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
See you guys. See you. Okay. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Damon. Thank you, Wesleyne. We'll see you guys.